With Shakespeare, he is so brilliant and precise about what he wants to say. I think that really aids the director and the team to make that into a vibrant visual image.
When I came onto the film, I didn't know Twelfth Night. I hadn't really studied it at all.
Everything that we see as a final visual image has to come from something that's crafted on the page.
You have the language, which is in places tricky to decode.
The stories that the man writes are timeless.
When they come alive is when a director directs actors in front of you, and then you really see what the play is about. It's extraordinary. It's a revelation.
If music be the food of love, play on.
I think Shakespeare's work is really meant to be seen, not read. And you have to see it as a play or as a film.
His universality of theme, his exploration of themes in terms of love, hate, jealousy, are timeless. And that, I think, translates into perfection when it's put on a screen.
So if you go round to opening the door, then
I could be on her and let him come in.
You can see, in fact, in Twelfth Night, in the structure, the time structure he's playing with is quite filmic, in fact. It's not at all theatrical.
We're going to shoot one.
Yeah.
We are doing final checks as we speak. And action.
2:28, take one.
In a number of his plays, he plays with time structure and the way he brings characters on and tries to have things happening at the cinema. Able to do things on film that you can't do on stage, but which are better.
Tim, believes in it a lot and uses that to its fullest.
Do for the love of God, you're hell! Who has done this, Sir Andrew?
I think the adaptation is very good in that no Shakespeare has been changed. Shakespeare has been cut.
we shifted the order of certain scenes. We looked at the way one thing would be cut against another thing.
Shakespeare actually gives you every single emotion, whereas Tim Supple, our director, and Andrew Bannerman, the scriptwriter, both decided to cut a lot of those moments out because those kind of moments on film can be said in thought and through your facial expressions rather than actually having to say every single line and express every single emotion.
Here comes Sir Toby!
Would Shakespeare have been a writer, or would he indeed have been a filmmaker? He might have chosen film as his art form because he was a popular artist. He was an immediate storyteller who wanted to tell stories in the most exciting way.
I'm Vic Tablin, and I'm privileged to play in Twelfth Night the part of the sea captain. It feels like playing for the World Cup.
I only wanted actors who were going to work on film. I didn't want an over-theatrical acting style. I didn't want theatre actors who would not be able to re-envisage their characters as fully understated, concrete screen characters.
As you know, what great ones do, the less we'll prattle of. That he did seek the love of fair Olivia.
We had a very short time to shoot, and I knew in only 4 weeks there would not be time to really shift someone from not being able to carry the verse and being able to carry the verse.
Enough. No more. It is not so sweet now as it was before.
I have to say, when I went through the audition process with Tim, I just thought he doesn't like what I'm doing because he got me to do it so many times in so many different ways. Went through each line and asked why this character's doing this, what the action of the character is, what the other characters say about that character. So it's all those kind of normal workings that I would do to approach any film, really.
Obviously, the writer is the first person that creates from the blank page sort of concept and style of the piece. I don't really think that that you can go anywhere without that.
You realise when you're actually working with Shakespeare is what a master craftsman he was. He doesn't put in useless bits. My experience of writing for the screen is that it is a bruising, battering process, but exciting and exhilarating. I think, firstly, you should aim to be as daring as you can be. It's like exploring a country. There isn't much point in going as far as the customs and the harbour and coming home. You've actually got to go inland.
What country friend is this?
You've got to climb a mountain. You've got to go down side tracks and alleys that may lead nowhere, or worse, may lead to thoroughly unpleasant places that you want to get out of as soon as possible. But you've got to do it. You've got to throw yourself into it. You've got to explore it as fully as you can.
There! Are all the people mad?
I love thee so.
The language has that kind of subliminal, sublingual quality, which is powerful. I mean, Shakespeare operates at so many different levels.
Shakespeare gives you everything you need. You don't need, in a way, to do anything. You just need to love it.
The more Shakespeare you do, well, you develop a voice, which you then can modulate for any contemporary work.
Halloo your name to the reverberate hills, and make the babbling gossip of the air cry out.
Shakespearean characters are very interesting because often they are saying things that sound phenomenally complicated to us, and he condenses within one sentence massively complex thoughts.
A drowned man, a fool, and a madman. One draught above heat makes him a fool, the second mads him, and a third drowns him.
There is a poetry in the language because the musicality of it is beautiful. Helps you speak it, helps you understand it. You cannot avoid the musicality of it either.
And it helps the rhythm of the play, and the play's all about rhythm. It's almost musical, really.
Give me excess of it, but surfeiting the appetite may sicken and so die.
Madonna, give me leave to prove you a fool.
Can you do it?
Dexterously, good Madonna.
Well, sir, for want of other idleness, I'll bide your proof.
I must catechize you for it, Madonna.
But thy interceptor, full of despite, bloody as the hunter, attends thee at the garden end.
What relish is in this? How runs the stream? Or I am mad, or else this is a dream.
Most of the speeches in Shakespeare's writing are what's known as being in verse. As a general rule, that means each line is 10 syllables long.
And when mine eye did see Olivia first, methought she purged the air of pestilence.
If you do 14 syllables, it sounds usually quite tragic or very heartfelt, and I'm talking in a 14 syllable. But funnily enough, people found that 10 syllables, you can get quite naturalistic with it.
Really, it's like any language. It's like doing a modern play. You just have to make it sound as though you've thought of it that moment.
Once you get into the rhythm of it and you give yourself up to the fact that this is slightly more elevated, the sense of it comes through.
Once in a sea fight against the Count, I did some service. Of such note, indeed, that were I ta'en here, it would scarce be answered.
If you know what you mean, if you know what you're saying, then you kind of ride on the crest of
of the poetry.
You find if you follow the thought and you follow the intention, you graduate to which words are the important words. You find them not by studying the text, but by just following the thought. Look then, to be well edified when the fool delivers the madman.
By the Lord, madam! Art thou mad?
Those that specialise almost exclusively in Shakespeare have trouble adapting to contemporary work because they have a slight voice like that, and it wails a little. But the general rule is that it can help you greatly.
Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them.
We're going to go and look now at the cellar in Olivia's house, where Toby and Andrew spend their time drinking.
Come, Night.
It's where all the old things of the family's lives were put. And also in this room is all the old stuff of the dead brother.
I play Olivia, who is a wealthy woman in Illyria, who's just recently lost her brother, and a while before that lost her father. She's taken a vow to grieve for the brother for 7 years.
Toby is spending a lot of time here because he can get away from the misery and depression in the rest of the house. It's like a hideaway for him.
Shall we rouse the night owl?
This is where the kind of turning point of the film will happen. When Toby and Andrew and Feste get so carried away, they're going to do a wild, wild number. 2 o'clock in the morning. Banging pipes and the electrical music banging out.
Hold thy peace!
I shall never begin if I hold my peace.
Come, begin!
Hold thy peace, thou knave, hold thy peace, 2, 3, 4.
And that's going to bring Malvolio in this door here to try and stop them.
My masters, are you mad, or what are you? Have you no wit, manners, nor honesty, but to gabble like tinkers at this hour of night?
And then there's a kind of war declared between one half of the film and the other half of the film.
I'm the Lady Olivia's faithful right-hand man-servant. I bring with me a certain puritanism.
If you prized my lady's favour at anything more than contempt, you would not give meanings to this uncivil rule.
There is no dancing, there's certainly no drinking of alcohol, and there's no boyfriend-girlfriend business going on.
She shall know of it by this hand.
That's one of the most important scenes that happen here. Also, this is the place where they lock up Malvolio.
Malvolio's hoodwinked, trapped, and pilloried. That's why you see me in this particular state now.
He'll smash the bottles.
Bottles are falling on me.
And cut himself. And they're going to put him in there.
With a sack over my head.
It's a vicious, revengeful joke that turns nasty. We really wanted to make this side of the play real and strong and gritty. So they're rich people playing and drinking in the kind of mess of their past lives.
I'll be revenged on the whole pack of you.
The truth is with Shakespeare is it's about several things, and that's never an easy answer when asked about any of his plays. They're like deep and rich, unknown things, really. It's about England at the time, politically, and in one sense it tells the story of the great clash that was taking place between Catholicism and Protestantism, and the future was a Protestant future. Malvolio is a Puritan. He is the new voice of England, more disciplined, more self-denying.
Oh, you are sick of self-love, Malvolio.
And there is the old, more Catholic voice of England, which is best expressed by Toby Belch.
A plague on this pickled herring.
They drink a lot and enjoy themselves a lot, and they're like the old Catholic aristocracy.
Let us therefore eat and drink.
In the middle of these two factions stands Olivia, who in a way is a Queen Elizabeth figure, I'm sure.
Good Madonna, why mournst thou?
Good fool for my brother's death.
I think his soul is in hell, Madonna.
The title, Twelfth Night, gives us a clue, as the subtitle is What You Will. So Shakespeare called it Twelfth Night, or What You Will. And I think this has to be what it really is about, because it's the title. Twelfth Night was a celebration at the end of the Christmas holiday. It was the last chance to go mad. It was the last chance to disguise yourself, not be yourself. It was an occasion on which people would get drunk and go crazy one last time before they have to go back to work. And the subtitle, What You Will, tells us it is somehow about what happens when people really let rip the finish of one time, some insanity, some disguise, out of which you have to come and go back to life at some point. So, like many Shakespeare plays, it hinges around transformation, the magical power of love, the desperate outer reaches of human desire. But, you know, we could talk for a long time about what it's about, because the great thing about Shakespeare, and I've done the play before and I've seen it many times, is you go back to it again and again, and it's like fishing in an endless pool, and you will always find something new that will come out at the end of your fishing rod.
People believe that by their own talents they can overcome weaknesses in a script, but you can't, because the broad sweeps that you might make in terms of producing and directing always come down to the fine detail, and if that's not right in a script, then that will be uncovered the day of shooting.
It's an interesting way of looking at language that perhaps normally as an actor you don't, because the most you may look at is, you know, emphasis, intonation, perhaps accents. But with Shakespeare, you could be doing all of those.
I should my tears let fall upon your cheek and say thrice welcome, drowned Viola.
मेरे पिता के बांध पर एक दिल था.
मेरे पिता के पिता.
But it was great to be able to look at the text and work on the text, as well as working on the characters, so that when you get onto set and time is against you and you have to film, that at least there are a lot of things that you can bring with yourself and work with your director in a more specific and a more productive way, really. So on Twelfth Night, it's been wonderful, because it definitely helps, because as an actor, you're asked to recall at the click of a finger.
the day's work is screened at night. Then you see vast amounts of film of you doing stuff, which will be cut.
Incredibly different watching yourself to how anybody else takes you when they see you on camera.
And you'll only see the finished article, but you see all the extra stuff that you do, which is absolutely useless.
So sometimes you are happy, sometimes you're not. Partly you don't want to look at yourself and go, oh my God, you look bloody hideous.
Oh, I have a big nose.
Nose is to this, my eyes are to that.
All those kind of things.
It's kind of like looking in the mirror, but the reflection is doing something very different.
Too much expression, too much activity.
Actors are very superficial, let's be honest. And, well, I am.
My grandma gets very upset, especially if there's parts where I get hurt or anything like that. She thinks it's for real.
And I listen a lot more to my gran, because English isn't her first language.
So I have to explain to her it's not
And
real.
if she can sit and talk to me afterwards about what she's just seen me do, I usually get a good sense of whether it's worked or not.
If it doesn't work for others, I failed. And if it works for others, what I think doesn't really matter anyway, does it? Cheers, chaps. Thanks a lot.
For me, the magic of the plots of Shakespeare, the magic of the stories, really only works at its best when you let it be itself. Let it be a strange, inexplicable, contradictory, poetic, beautiful, ugly thing of its own making. Simply, we wanted to exercise as fully as we could the language of film and let the language of film tell the story and not make it a play on screen. That for us was crucial.